What is going on? BS, no BS, I meant family. It's your boy, Joel Davis, host of You Can't Make This BS Up. Man, it's been a very challenging week. Let's just say that I have been going through it. First off, my AC went out in my house Friday. So currently right now, I am not able to record in my home because it's an up. Talking to the landlord, he telling me it's probably gonna be a few days before I can get anything situated. But for all you that follow me, y'all know what it is. Do me a huge favor. If you want to donate to your boy, you can check out my Cash App, uh, which is the Cash App on tag sign. You can't make this BS up. That's right. You can't make this BS up. The Cash App tag, $sign. And if you want to donate, if it's $1 or if you want to donate, fucking $5,000, be greatly appreciated. It will go to me getting a definite room for me and my wife and my animals. My wife suffers from fibromyalgia and retention fluid. So yeah, it's a very rough time for us right now. But you know what? I'm going to try to make it. And if you do not feel comfortable doing it through Cash App, you can personally text me and definitely send me money through my Apple Pay. That's right. My Apple Pay. You can contact me at Apple Pay. US of A is my country code. 1 dash area code 912-837-1983. Country code USA 1 with the area code 912-837-1983. It's an iPhone. So if you want an Apple Pay and donate to the show, you can do it that way. I know a lot of people more comfortable with that. Just put in when you text me, just say support for the show and what name that you want me to shout you out on the show, and I will do just that. And let's go and talk about some shout outs. Also, you can check me out on Patreon. You can't make this BS up on our Patreon. You can join that too. We got to shout out, man, this lady is a blessing. I just got this, so I hope she don't think that I was ignoring her, because she's like really the first person to actually donate to the show. So to donate to the show like this, I gotta give you a heads up, and I gotta give you a shout out, and that is Miss Rachel Perez. She basically just told me that she found my show. She said the note for Jess found your show and I love it. Thank you. Ms. Rosie Perez, we appreciate you too. That's why Ms. Rachel Perez, that's why we do this. You know what I'm saying? To have people to like the way I tell stories and to support the show, it is a blessing, okay? Because I'm a one-man team. I'm do this all myself. Like this time you getting the raw audio of me not even having no background music, intro music. This is all going to be raw. So, just to hear you say that you enjoy my show, man, that speaks volumes. And I appreciate you. Thank God for you and God bless you. All right. So today we're going to talk about a story that a lot of people have talked about and told, but they haven't told it the way I tell the story. Because when I tell a story, I tell it different than anybody else will tell it in the room. In fact, everybody tells a story different. But this story means a lot to me because it comes from my second home state, which is North Carolina. Shout out to the state of North Carolina. And this story here is straight. Imagine you being a man who has been trying to chase a dream and chase your identity at the same time. And you have allowed all of your imperfections that you are not comfortable with accepting or even trying to work on devour you. And it devour you into the point that it chases you into another partner who also has a problem with accepting their own flaws. And you two come together and create a storm that not only destroy your life, their life, but also the lives of the people that you swear that you love the most. This is a story of Grant Hayes and Amanda Hayes. The victim is Laura Ackerman. And we about to jump into this story, and it goes a little something like this. It's on a steamy Texas evening in July 2011. Sheriff Deputy peers over the rails of a small bridge outside of Richmond. Below the Oyster Creek drifts in silence. Something pale turns in the water. At first, you would think it's a fish, but it ain't no fish. You might have think it may be some driftwood. No, sir. This is a torso. Within hours, investigators will recover more remains. And 11 days earlier, 1,200 miles away, a Raleigh, North Carolina 27-year-old mother named Laura Jean Ackerson has vanished. But by the time she found, the case is going to unravel a bitter custody war with a musician, with a stage name and identity issues, his wife, along with a rented trailer, muriatic acid, and an alligator-infested creek. Sound like a horror story, right? But nah, you can't make this BS up in this story. Laura Jean Ackerson was born April the 30th, 1984 in Hastings, Michigan, to Roger Ackerson and Brenda Brooks. Not long after her birth, her parents separated and divorced, and Laura grew up primarily with her mother. Now, backstory about Roger Ackerson. Roger Ackerson, her father, was not considered to be the father of the year. In fact, he had more children, and they did not fuck with Roger. Due to the fact of the matter, his beef with their mother, and I guess, he just didn't fight hard enough to try to get to know these kids. So the only child that really dealt with Roger Ackerson was his daughter, which was Laura. Now, this divorce, it really did something to Laura. It really hurt her. You know what I'm saying? They said that it was like an emotional weight on her, and that they could tell early on that this thing made her very unstable, made her feel instability because of that divorce. Now, in 1996, she's 12 years old. I remember them days because I was in that age bracket myself in 1996 at the age of 12. Moved with her family to Iowa. She was one of 7 children because she had 6 siblings, including Jason Ackerson. Again, despite the turbulence, Laura developed into a creative, driven young woman. And she was a big dreamer. And she always wanted to be her own boss. That was her thing. That's why she would always try to start small business ventures to make it do what it do. And when she became a mother, her 2 sons became her whole world. And during that time, she met a charismatic musician named Grant Ruffin Hayes. He was born April the 30th, 1979. Drawn to the performance of his musical ability, people just really liked this guy. He had changed his name from being Hayes to Grant Haze. Now, let me tell you, Grant was also born to his mother Patsy Hayes, and his father's name was Grant Ruffin Hayes the second. Now, they said that his father was a minister. His mother was into the daycare scene, taking care of kids. So after he was doing his thing in the Carolina clubs, and everything else, around about 1997, he married this woman at 18 that was a ballerina. Her name was Emily Lovers. That marriage then ended in 2007. And during that time, when he was performing at a club one night in Charlotte, he met Laura Ackerson. When he saw Laura, they said that Laura was drawn to him like a moth to a flame. And he was the same way with her. Now, there's some things that I want to talk about before we get more into the story about Grant Hayes. There's some side notes. First thing first, let's get the tea out first. Grant, when he grew up, was shy a little bit, but he came out of his shell once he started getting into the music thing. Second, Grant could really sing. Like the dude had talent. Like he could really, really sing. Okay, it wasn't like he was this wannabe artist. Like he really could command a crowd. He really could write a song. He really could get it in. He really could sound like my man Darius from the Hootie and the Blowfish, which I think Darius Ruckers was some of his influences. And he could also rap pretty well too. So he was versatile in the music game. Now let's talk about the T on his personal life. Grant would not date a black. His, y'all, don't come for me. I'm going by what I saw, and this is in the book of Bitter Remains. This is where I quote this source from. The reason why he did not like black women, and again, a warning, this is a little explicit. He did not like how their vaginas look. You know what I'm saying? Down there. He said it didn't look good. Now, I love all women. And yes, I'm married outside my race. My wife is white. And I have also dated black women as well. I love all shades of women. And last time I checked, all of it down there based upon the beauty of itself, the attraction and everything else, and they taking care of themselves is a beauty within itself because it's a love sharing tool. So I'm confused how to him he said it does not look good down there. Seems like to me there's some self-hatred there. And another thing about Grant that you will learn throughout this story is Grant loves to play the victimhood card. Now, again, I'm not downplaying racism. There is racism everywhere in the world. And I also believe that there are some instances that racism is available in America. But I'm not one of those guys that wake up in the morning and say, because I'm black, that today everybody is going to be against me, or I'm afraid to go outside, or I'm afraid for my life because of the color of my skin, because I don't live that way. Maybe it's because I'm a conservative guy. If you haven't noticed by now, I've always spoken that I am conservative. I know a lot of people think that most black conservatives, we stuck up, we don't understand what we're talking about, but it's just basically saying that I'm not going to live my life in fear. I'm going to live my life by doing what I need to do and stand up for what I believe in. And if I feel like I'm being discriminated against, I will stand up and I will address it as so. But if I'm not being discriminated against and it still does not go in my favor, I'm not going to play that card. With Grant, he played that card all the time. It was every time you had a conversation with Grant, oh no, 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 I can't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that, homie. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm a black man, dog. I'm a black man. You know, it's all against me because I'm black. You know what I mean? Like, you don't understand how hard it is for me in this world. Every day, I'm a target. Every day. Listen, again, he probably would have been a good candidate for those guys that do the whole, a black Israelite thing, but I'm quite sure that he would make it because once he said that black women's vagina looks disturbing, he already disqualified. So that's what we got about Grant so far. So Grant loves to play the victim card. So just making sure you know that ahead of time about Grant. So when you read the book. So anyway, as Laura and Grant gets to know each other, Laura starts to quickly find out that Grant don't play no game. Grant is abusive as hell. Okay? Example given. When Laura first got pregnant, Grant decided to always leave her doing the parent duties. And he basically do his own thing. Okay? Like, you gonna take care of these kids, I'm gonna go out here and be a Rolling Stone. And then when she got pregnant again, nothing changed. And she found out that she would be the only one working for Grant. Like, Grant did not like to work. Grant thing was, yeah, I want to be a musician. And she even went and put in the work to promote a lot of his gigs. But Grant did not want to put in the work to promote himself. He wanted to be like, hey, I'm Grant Hayes. I sing like the dude from Darius Ruggers or Hootie the Blowfish. Sign me now, and that's it. So he didn't want to put in the work. But let's talk about a time that he did put hands on uh Amanda. Oh, Laura. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Laura one day starting to realize that, Grant's not going to change. She's stuck with these kids. Decided to confide in one of her friends. Now, one of her friends she was confiding in I forgot what the young lady name was, but she was like, "Girl, I just can't anymore. This man won't work. It's all he want to do is keep me in the house. He want to annihilate me from my family. I can't talk to my daddy. I can't even talk to my brother. Like, I gotta secretly go and creep around here and talk to my brother." So while she's on the phone, the first thing he busts out and say, "Hey, get your ass off that goddamn phone. What I told you? Didn't I tell you that that girl ain't nothing but a bad influence? Get off the phone." They say, couple of hits. Emily, meanwhile, her homegirl's like, "I'm on my way. I gotta check on my girl." So she goes up there and check on Laura, and she sees Laura's face is destroyed. Boy, done bust that nose. And when he saw her, he hurried up and got in the car with his boy, like, "Yo, I ain't trying to go to jail. Fuck that. Let's go." So her friend is like, "Laura, you can't live like this, baby. This ain't love. This is torture." She like, "No, I cannot do this to him. He needs me. I gotta stay. I gotta stay to be all right." With tears in her eyes, crying, she finally got calm. And she like, "Look, you gotta go. I'm going in the house. It's just gonna be what it is." Well, that was just one of many things that Grant would do to Laura. So finally, Laura is talked into going to St. John, the city out of the U.S. Virgin Islands, because, you know what I'm saying, my man is trying to get his music career up there. He's like, "Yo, I got a chance to get gigs. I got a chance to make this money, baby. Come on, baby. Follow me over here. All right? You know what I'm saying? If I got more gigs, I'll be straight. I'll be more nice. I'll be going good." Well, even up there, or experienced nothing but total BS. Okay. Now, while at St. John, you know what I'm saying, he's still roaming the streets. She's still stuck with these kids. And then it got to the point that one of the kids had a real bad medical. I forgot what the medical condition is because I didn't put it in my notes from the book. But Laura was like, "Look, I got to go back to North Carolina. I got to make sure this child gets the need it needs." Grant like, "Well, you know what? I want to stay over here in St. John's and do my thing." And while at St. John's, while she take care of the kids, y'all know how my man do. Grant. Grant out here slinging that third leg at every woman that gives him attention. Another side note. Every time he get caught up with Laura having all these extra women in his phone or on or hanging on to him or around him, his thing was, "Laura, I got to have these women to like me. I have to act like I'm gonna sleep with them. I have them damn near butt ass naked all over taking their clothes off of me so I could pass it to my boys," which was a lie because his boys was like, "He ain't never hardly passed shit off to me." It was more like no women were worried about him and he worried about them. So while this is going on in the mix, Grant slinging his ass off, getting more and more women behind him by the second, he comes across Amanda Perry. Let's talk about Amanda Perry. Amanda Perry Hayes was born April the 8th, 1972. She an Aries in Durango, Colorado. Now, here's the thing. She had her mother, I forgot her mother's name, but her mother actually was living in like a hostel type of, whole house, aka a whorehouse. And she was sleeping with so many men to get money that that's how she got pregnant with Amanda. She could not recall what man she wound up or rolled with. So she was like, "Fuck it. I'm just going to take care of this baby and call it a day." And she basically talked to Karen, her older children. Like Karen, they were already settled and old enough to be on their own. She like, "Yo, Karen, baby, I done had this baby. I don't know who the father gonna be. I don't want her to find this shit out. Help your mama out, baby. Just raise her and help as much as you can." Now, while this is going on, Amanda grew up later on, and early in life, she had a daughter from a prior relationship named Shy. Now, Amanda is Shy. I'm going to her daughter. I will tell you about their relationship later on. Now, after that, Amanda done married a couple of times, right? I think she is married about, at the time she found the last man, I think she was on her marriage, that was marriage number 4. I don't know, I gotta look back on the notes on the book, cause the book was an audio book, so I couldn't like get notes down or whatever. But Amanda married a guy that was loaded, Okay, this mug was loaded. Alright, and he lived here some Amanda. And his children was grown, and he was like, yo, this my little trophy wife. So, well, he died all of a sudden. When he first died, the children tried to say that Amanda had something to do with the joint, right? Amanda was like, yo, I ain't had nothing to do with what happened to your daddy. Like, I love your daddy. You know, shit happens. It is what it is. And so they was like, all right, well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead on and we're going to kind of like talk to the lawyers, you know, the whole probate thing. So finally, they all went for the children and everything else, and they came to an agreement, right? Their settlement. The settlement was that she could keep the farm, and even though she had inherited her husband's stock market in the company, if she was to sell it back to the kids, they would all pay her a lump sum. So they did do that. And at the end of the day, the financial part of the lump sum was like $180,000. So $180,000, and this was back in 20, I think it was like 2008. So let's do a what they call an inflation calculator, so you'll know what I'm talking about right quick in a hurry. So she got awarded like in 2000, it's around about 2008 or 2009. We're gonna go with 2008. She got awarded $180,000. In today's money, that would be $269,671.02. So that's what she got. Right? That's what she rolling with. So that was awesome to her because she made off like a little baby. So after she meets Grant, Amanda like, oh shit, you know, he different. You know, he excited. He sound like Darius Rucker, and he black, and I gotta get some of that chocolate bar, baby. So she was like, yo, I know what I do. I asked her to help me teach me guitar lessons. So she asked him to teach her guitar lessons, and you already know what Tom Grant's on when it comes to them snow bunnies that's liking him so much. He like, hell yeah. Yeah, man, I got you, baby. Yeah. Come through. Let Grant take care of you. So Grant started teaching her guitar lessons. She's slowly opening up about this, that, her finances, how she can, you know, trick off on a good looking knockoff of Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker. And before you know it, Amanda and my man Grant is a full idol. And Buddy is living it up with Amanda in St. John. This girl is like helping him out with his music business and everything else. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Laura is like, okay, something is wrong here. You're not paying me as much attention as you're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be your supposed wife. And let's go and talk about that too. He was supposed to have married her some way along the line on the Virgin Islands at the time when she was over there. Come to find out that he never signed the paper. So they wasn't really married. And she finds this out during the time that she found out he's hooking up with all these women and his new boo, including Amanda. So he like, yo, baby, come on, baby, come back, come back, come back. I promise you come back. I'm gonna be changed and everything else and this, that, and the third. So, 2009, and old girl like, all right, I'll come back over there. So now she go back to the Virgin Islands again, trying to appease her husband. He done told her that he done stopped or whatever at the time, her man. But she finally realized that Grant is not going to change, and it was basically over. So she goes back with the kids. Wow, Grant is out here plotting, all right, because he got Amanda wrapped around his finger, and to the point that in 2010, Grant and Amanda marry in Las Vegas, and they move to Raleigh. Now, while this is all going on, before all this going on, Grant decided to do a Houdini with my girl Laura, because now Laura done find out he's still messing with this older woman that funding his career. She's an actress. And by the way, Amanda Perry really was trying to strike out in Hollywood. She did a few parts on the Stepford Wives, on some other films too, but it was all small roles. Like Standing Stone was so small she wouldn't even make the credits. Either way it goes, she found out that the acting thing wasn't gonna cut it because she was about to be approaching 40 soon, and people was like, "Yo, baby, your ship done sailed. Like, you ain't been an actress by now, and you ain't gonna be one." So Vision Time and stuff on that, she decided to do something different, and that's when Amanda, trying to focus in more on trying to help out Grant with his career and, getting, and then brought a place out there in New York. So while she done brought this place out there in New York or whatever have you, this apartment complex, whatever, she wanted to spend time with Grant's kids that he's got with Laura. So Grant came up with this prime excuse that, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? I miss my boys. I want to see my boys. Let me take my boys to New York and I'll give them back to you when you tell me you need me to turn it back. She was hesitant at first, but Lord, like, man, I don't trust this motherfucker. We already having problems. He done beat my ass. He might try to take my boys. And she was like, I don't know. So she confronted one of her friends, the same girl that was a witness for her whenever she was talking about him putting hands on her. Old girl told her straight up, do not let your kids go with this motherfucker. Like, he is not safe. Like, do not do this. You are too smart for this. Do not do this. And she thought about it and thought about it, and she was like, well, that is his kids. He want to see his kids. I want to do what's right. I want to be the better parent on co-parenting here. Okay, yeah, you take the kids to New York. So Grant's excited. Hey, okay. He takes the kids to New York. A week goes by. She's waiting for Grant to come back with his kids. Grant came back with his kids yet. So Laura's like, what the fuck is going on here? So Laura's calling and calling and calling. They ain't trying to respond. They ain't trying to, she's panicking. Like, okay, where's my boys at? So finally, it took him 10 days to return for about to get in touch with him about getting his kids back. Well, somewhere along the line during them 10 days, Grant done got Money Warbucks Amanda to help him file like an emergency custody thing to like get custody of these kids, to go and to get to court to get custody of kids because he tried to say, hey, Amanda is like on these drugs, man. Laura's on these drugs, man. She crazy. She makes me fear for my life every time I'm around her. Mind you now, side note about Grant. Grant loved coke, okay? They said Grant would snort coke like it was candy. All right, real talk. Grant was a cokehead. And he still was one even when he had access to these kids. So Grant, once again, was gaslighting Laura so he could keep being on top. So they go to court. And when they go to court, the judge like, yo, I heard both sides and whatever lawyers that Amanda provided for him, he was like, right now, we're going to keep custody with Grant and Amanda. This is why Amanda went to Las Vegas and they got married and did what they do. So Laura is hurt. Laura is hurt, defeated. She feel like, what in the hell has just happened? Her world is upside down. She went from having access to her boys, taking care of her boys, to now the devil got her boys. Now, when Grant got the boys, he basically was looking at them like a meal ticket in a control mechanism and then some. So while he had these boys or whatever, it was required by the court that they all had to get a psychological evaluation. Now, to get this psychological evaluation, they had to see a certain psychologist appointed by the court. Now, at first, my man's, aka Grant, he wasn't feeling that shit. Grant didn't want to go by the court appointed psychologist. He wanted to go by his own psychologist. So he decided to spend out of pocket on that first. So after spending a couple of bands on that, that psychologist basically did not put him in a good light. So he decided, well, fuck it. I'll take my chances on the point appointed one because they probably be better anyway. So the court appointed one, he had to spend a couple of $1,000 for his session. Meanwhile, Laura was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'm gonna go ahead on and spend my money so I can get my kids back. So Laura spent her 2,500 up front, got her own psychological evaluation done, and went on about her business because she about business. So while this is going on, Laura is really trying to make moves. So Laura decided to grind it out after doing her company, doing design, showing that she had multiple streams of income to take care of her children. She met across a girl named Siobhan Matthews. Both single mothers, both trying to make it in this world, both are, spiritually grounded. She decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead on here and I am going to get together with you. We got the same mindset and we're going to do our own business. And I think it was called Knife and Fork. I may be wrong. It was a design company for restaurants in the North Carolina Raleigh-like area to coordinate with them and get all kinds of mats designed and menus and stuff so they can, be able to have that whenever they had customers and things of that nature to come in. You know what I mean? So it was a good business move. So Laura is really doing the damn thing. Laura's getting income going in. She's going to church. She's getting spiritual advice from elderly spiritual minded like women. The minister is being with her. She even was so close that she was about to start dating again. She liked the guy, but she was like, Grant done fucked me up so much that I'm scared to date because if I ain't got sure custody of these kids, he may try to find anything he can to like literally try to twist it on me. Now let's talk about the custody exchange. Now, Laura would have to do these custody exchanges every weekend with them and meet them halfway between Kent and Raleigh. They would meet at this Chevron's this gas station called I think it was a gas station in the public. I forgot the name of the gas station. That's where they would get to go at to meet. So they would meet at said gas station, do the custody exchange, and keep it going. Now the problem with them doing the custody exchange is that life happens. Sometimes Amanda is late, like any other single mother or whatever, trying to get because she has a lot of things that she has to deal with. But she was always attentive to her children. She always tried to do the right thing. So meanwhile, there was episodes where they were fussing about. Grant started complaining about this evaluation, okay, because he got to spend his money by this court order. And then when he did finally do, he found out the results of hers and his. And it was looking like Laura about to get them babies back, okay? They were like, look, ain't nothing wrong with Laura. Laura's not no drug head. Laura ain't no raging lunatic. She's just a single mother that probably just need a plan on how to move forward and raise these kids by herself because she is still trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on. My wife texting me. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to let her know I'm still recording on this, y'all. But anyway, getting back to what's going on, Grant was feeling the pressure because Grant know if they get those kids back that it was going to be game over. Meanwhile, Amanda had grown very close to these kids. I mean, she out here taking care of these kids, being a mom of these kids, and then she done got pregnant for Grant in the middle of all this with Lily. So she like, oh my God, I'm pregnant with Lily. And then let's talk about this. Grant wasn't working now. No, no, sir, not Gracie. Gracie wasn't working no more now. Yeah, all them trips that he was taking to be doing all that recording and stuff like that. Yeah, he wasn't mounting to a hill of beans. He was just wasting their time. Amanda like crying to her daughter Shay, like, girl, I think I made a mistake. I done married this man. And not to mention too, he done ran through all of my damn money. That's right. All of the money she had. $180,000. Grant done ran through it from partying, sniffing coke, trying to fight a custody battle, which you gotta remember, 180,000 do not go a long way if you got those kind of things going on. We're talking about he's going back and forth trying to make money. I mean, yeah. this is getting to be too much for a man. So, her daughter's like, well, mom, if it's like that, maybe you need to just go ahead on and cut your losses. Well, Amanda wasn't going to do that because Amanda had been invested in this custody war along with Grant. Grant done told her that this man was the devil. This woman was the devil wearing Prada. You know what I mean? Like, she is not good. So anyway, Grant and Amanda are now sweating because she's gonna get these kids back, and they know if she gets the kids back, she'll probably get full custody. You know what I'm saying? So they come up with this bright plan, okay? And y'all give me one moment. So with that being stated, them being in fear, they come up with this bright idea. They know that Laura wanted to see these kids more than just on the weekend. And they have had figured out more things before to trick her up, like the time they tried to get her to break the custody arrangement and kind of like meet them at his mama house to do Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that. But she was not hearing it. She was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going by what they tell me that we supposed to do by the courts. So anyway, they decided that it was time to get Grant to hit Laura with, hey, listen, would you like to go see these kids on Wednesday? I know it's the middle of the week, but I need you to come, see the kids, watch the kids, because we got some things going on. And by the way, too, it'd be a good time for us to, try to solve and be a little civil by the end of this custody. So she's like, all right, yeah, Grant, that's cool. Yeah, all right. Well, maybe they're coming around. So she goes there to the house. Well, when she goes to the house that Wednesday, before she goes, she tells one of her friends, hey, listen, I know we got a meeting, but it's not going to happen today. I got a chance to be with my kids for the first time on the weekdays, and I'm taking advantage. That's when everything hits the fan. For 5 days, no one has heard from Laura Ackerman. Her business partner and friend is freaking out, decided to go ahead on and call the authority, report her missing to the authorities. So while they got her reported missing to the authorities, they tell them about this rocky relationship between Grant and Amanda that she having custody over her kids. So the police is like, all right, well, let's holler at Grant. Let's see, maybe he might know something. So they call Grant. Meanwhile, they calling Grant. Grant's in Texas. That's right. Grant is in Richmond, Texas. He like, yeah, I can't talk to y'all right now, man. I ain't got no good reception. He said, well, I'm out here in the boonies. So dude confused, like, boonies? Raleigh, he gonna be in Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina ain't got no woods. Like, he's so confused at this point. My boy like, yeah, man, as soon as I get in a better reception, yeah, I'll come in and talk to y'all. Nope, he ain't called back, none of that shit. So the detective's like, all right, something is up with this cat. So meanwhile, while this is all going on, they start getting information trickling down that there's a good chance that Grant and Amanda have done something to this girl. So the first thing they do is go to Amanda's daughter, talk to Shay. Now Shay, meanwhile, being instructed by them to like, yo, make sure the place is good. You know what I'm saying? Do this and do that. And so Shay's like, okay. And then the police is around with a search warrant. She's like, what the fuck? They tore the house apart, up and down. They ain't find no kind of biological evidence, but the place reek of bleach. Shay like, oh my God, I hope they ain't did what I think they did. Meanwhile, Mandy and Grant out there in Richmond, Texas, talking to her sister, asking stupid questions like, hey man, do alligators eat people? Yeah. Is it hard for them to find? This, that, and the third, all these questions, making them look suspicious. Well, the reason why is because Grant and Amanda done rented a U-Haul, okay, and with large coolers and has dumped the bodies in the water. That's how the police started finding out about everything they had going on. So by July 24, 2011, deputies in Fort Bend County over there in Richmond, Texas, had recovered a torso, a lower leg from Oyster Creek, which is not that far from her sister's house. Meanwhile, her sister had asked for the police to pray for her before she tell them what all went down. So after all this was done and everything else, The remains were identified as Laura Ackerman. It come to find out that they told this girl to come to the house, and for her to come to the house, that they told her that, hey, listen, we got something for you. I want to let you know that we came with an idea for these kids, and the idea is gonna be that we need you to sign your rights away, so that way you don't go to court for this custody of these children. We get custody of the kids, and that was that. So Laura probably told them no, and they probably got physical and violent with this girl. Made her sign the part that she's supposed to sign, and everything. And then after that, oh sorry, that's when she decided that she was going to have to get rid of Laura, because Laura unfortunately was going to do what she had to do to survive for her kids. And when it all said and done, it comes to find out the jury decided to sentence the Grant Hayes, aka the dude that thought he was Hootie and the Blowfish singer, to life in prison with no chance of parole. Now, along with Amanda, with her trial, she, even though her beautiful, loving Grant testified against her and everything else, she was convicted of second degree murder, and she got sentenced to 13 to 16 and a half years in North Carolina prison. But there's a twist, because in 2018, Texas was like, oh, hell no, we ain't gonna let you get away with just this shit over here. You dumped this body in our water, and then you dumped it in the area where it's considered bad waste. So they convicted her with tampering with a human corpse, and they said after you get through running that 13 to 16 and a half years in North Carolina, you need to take your ass over here to Texas and finish that 20 off. So at the end of the day, that's what actually happened. So let's talk about where they at today. Today, Grant is still in prison. They ain't never getting out. Now, Amanda has completed her North Carolina sentence. Time when they got on the 13-year point, North Carolina was like, yo, Texas, you want her? Texas was like, hell yeah. And they was like, you can have her. Now, as for Shay, Shay has rubbed above it all. She is now still in contact with her siblings. The siblings are being raised by Grant's parents, and they come together every summer to do all three of the kids' birthdays. And even though Shay was mad with her mother for a long time, she said she's forgiven her mother, and that at the end of the day, she just wanted to make sure that she lives her own life and prove to everyone that she is nowhere near the product that her mother is. And that is the end of the story of Grant and Amanda Hayes murdering Laura Ackerman. And my thoughts on this case is as follows. I'm glad that Grant and Amanda got what was going to them. I wish Amanda would have got life in prison, because she ain't about shit for what she did to this woman, because she know good and damn well that Grant was a psycho. And as for Grant and his supporters at the time, they should have been got this man help, because he was a menace to society, and he was a major manipulator for the things that he's done. But that's my thoughts on the case. And if y'all guys want to continue to support, y'all know what to do. Cash out your boy, $ cash out sign. I mean, you can't make this BS up. Also, too, you can reach out to me on Apple Pay with the following: US code 912-837-1983. And like I said before, all this goes back into the production. We love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other. I'm out.